Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Off Grid Investor, this is Dolph. Today in this video I'm going to talk about the NEO, because as you know, the NEO has an earning on Monday, so I think it is a crucial time to talk about the NEO. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of the technical analysis on NEO briefly. And then as a bonus, I would like to share my thoughts on the Workhorse a little bit, because I know I talked about the Workhorse. I do not own the share of a Workhorse, as you know, but I still do trade, and I see there's a great opportunity on the Workhorse right now, in my opinion. So I'd like to talk about it a little bit. So now let's get into the NEO. So NEO right now it sits at $46.97, and I wouldn't be surprised that like the NEO starts pretty strong in the pre-market on Monday, because I can definitely see a lot of people might be willing to jump on it at this price. But as you know, like I've picked up a lot of the shares at this price before, so to me it is not very tempting. To me, the price range is I mean, it came down a little bit, and before the market sold off the last week, it was pretty much going sideways. Even though like the company had a lot of like the good news, like Sinopec news, and people talk about the like expansion of the factories in Europe and all that. But in my opinion, none of those was really the big news to really move the price on NEO. As you know, like if they start put the shovels on the ground first in Europe, or if the like the opening celebration of the factory like approaching or something, yes, I'll definitely I can definitely see the price will like fluctuate like based on that. And even the Sinopec news, it is still the rumor. Like all this conversation is going on, and nobody really talks about this one. In my opinion, like, let's say you are the CEO of Sinopec. The Sinopec is, like the big, one of the largest, the oil company in China, besides the Metro China, Petro China. But think about it. If you're like, you have all this, the oil, the gas station and all, will you be willing to give that much of space just for the NEO? That's something not many people talk about it, yeah. But we're talking about like 24,000 the location like added to like highly dense the population cities in the China, which is great news for the NEO. But think about it, like that's if you haven't seen the NEO's the charging station, it takes up quite of the space. And think about the building, the infrastructure for that one. It's not just like the week or two, the operation we're talking about. So that's why in my opinion, the price didn't really price in for that. It'll take a time. And if you're a CEO of Sinopec, will you be willing to put down just for the NEO? I don't think so. All this, like before that, all this the gas station and all that, they will have one or two small charging stations for all the EVs, including Tesla as well too. So it is not just the like the good news for NEO. That's what I wanted to tell you guys, and not many people talk about it. But that's what I think. And so a lot of people may think may want to trade the NEO tomorrow. I can definitely see that there's a great opportunity trading this one, using the option. But you know me, like I don't like to play the earnings, especially on the day of earning. That's purely gambling to me. You can make it, like especially those of you like have a small accounts. That is very tempting to do, to play the options, to put small amount of money and to make a big gains, whatever. But especially like considering that IV rates implied the volatility rate is going to be high, because it is earning, especially earning day. And if it is like on Thursday or Wednesday, the earning day, like playing the weekly option, which I would love, I do that myself to do. But Monday, all this little, like the factors you need to think about it. Like on Monday, the option price is going to be quite expensive, yeah, because it is Monday, and what I like, the strategy that I like to use is like you can with the small money, like you can just buy the simple so call option or put option, no matter what the price, the prediction you have, playing going up or down on this one. I see great opportunities there. But what I personally like to play on earnings is playing a continuation play. So if I were you, none of this is like financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is entertainment purpose only. I would like to play continuous, the play, continuation play, which means, I normally don't buy like week ahead, but 2 weeks ahead is kind of safer way of going in. And on earning days, you see like what earning comes out, and normally that day, the following day, it may ticked up higher, but what is important is like right next day, following day, if it goes up way too much, or it shoots up high, there's a big chance like the next following day, normally the price a little drops, yeah. So when it is very to me, like, it is easier. But I don't know. You can be it can be different to a lot of people. But what is happening is what is happening. So you can clearly see on the chart that when price dips, after high, the gap up or something like right following day, but and you see where the dip is, and that's when I like to go in. You can play either way, going up or down, and have a little bit of the confirmation, and playing the holding it for week or two. Depends on the earning. You can play the going up or down. It doesn't really matter, but you have high probability of making money, putting a small amount of money with an option. So that's like something that I wanted to share. So let's talk about the technical analysis. Now it sits at $46.97. There is a little strong the support, which is in my opinion, which is the more stronger than right now. It's $46.76. That's quite strong. The support right now. This is it right now, the support. But another support quite, the strong, it is $42.20. That's quite the strong, the support line. So if the price goes down, depends on, the market tomorrow, especially on Monday. If it starts with the dip down a little bit, I'll probably watch carefully to see if it breaks down below the $42 range, which I highly doubt it's going to happen, But what is important is I wanted to mention this one, especially to the people who've been holding, the NEO for the long term. And then this one, after $42, the support, there is no support. There is no support till $28, but I'll be, very happy to pick up some shares on. By the way, the CCIV, it came down a lot. So many of you who've been watching, my CCIV, right now it's like quite delicious, tasty. The price is at right now, CCIV. So if it goes down to $28 range, I'll be very happy to pick up a lot of shares of the NEO. And, the people still think, arguing which one is better, NEO or Tesla, I'm telling everybody, collect both of them. Now is not the time to talk about which company is going to do better. We're talking about the the biggest, when second biggest EV company that you can own, you can collect it. So please don't trade and start collecting it. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, so if it breaks below $42 range, I'll be watching carefully and see where this one is going. But somebody who is swing trading, like let's say it gaps up a lot on Monday. There is the good chance that especially when you're swing trading this, there's a good chance that you will make pretty good money on this one following week or two. But there is the important unemployment, the news that everybody's waiting on next week. So I want you to think about that. Put that in the perspective. As a factor next week following. But the good catalyst could be the stimulus, the news. But as you know, lately, the House representative, the stimulus, the news already a few times the market didn't really move on that. So think about that. Everybody's waiting on, the Senate, the passes the stimulus. So if you're planning on playing that news, I'll probably wait a little bit, like a week or two more to think about that. So that's good. And also, like I told you, I wanted to talk about a little bit about the Workhorse. Workhorse came down a lot. Let's see how much it said. So now, like it said, right at the support line right now, which is the $16. It is right at the support line. But as you know, like the Cathy Wood, pretty much she stopped this stock going down even further down. But in my opinion, I think she was trying to. I mean, she has a lot of shares on this one, and if I were her, I'll probably do the same thing to protect this going down even further. But in my opinion, the second thought is that she's trying to make the statements. I think like to all this like the Wall Street the people and the value the trader out there. Hey, look at me. This is how I'm going to do. And and compared to all those bigger, the position like that she has on her ETF. I mean, she has a lot of shares on Workhorse, but still, it is not as big as all the others. The big one. But she is using this one as her kind of like, because how popular this one was. She sees that, and she's kind of like using this one as, hey, everybody, look at me. This is how it's supposed to be done. So, in my opinion, it has nothing to do with the Workhorse. But yeah, of course, like Workhorse, they lost the contract. But in my opinion, that's not finally done. If you haven't seen the Oshkosh's, like the car, first of all, like, I don't even know that the car is, the better than Workhorse. My personal preference, I like the Workhorse, the car a whole lot better. And we've seen the Workhorse, the truck, it is working. The technology is there, and the company has a lot of good the plans on their the truck, how they would like to develop, and the drone technology and all that. Drone, I'm not quite sure about this one, like how many people have seen it and how it works. I've seen the videos and all that, but I still don't buy it. I need to tell you that. But as far as the truck goes, I think they do have pretty good trucks, and it is not the USPS. It's the only the customers. I mean, it is the big customers we're talking about, but that's not the only the customer. And the company, if they pull out more contracts from the different the vendors, different the big companies and all that, I can definitely see this, company will do better in the long future. So it sits at $16. Hardly ever can imagine this one going down to like the $10. So in my opinion, it is, if you haven't touched this, especially if you haven't touched this, the stocks right now, it sits at right now, it is very tasty, the price, in my opinion. So I think that's it for today's the video. I hope everybody is enjoying the weekends, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully Monday.